What if the restlessness you've carried your entire life, the feeling of being too much and never enough simultaneously, wasn't a flaw in your character, but evidence of something ancient moving through you? Stay with me, because what Carl Jung discovered about the Sophia archetype will completely reframe everything you thought you understood about the women who feel everything more deeply than the world seems designed to accommodate. Most people have never heard the name Sophia spoken in the context of psychology. They know her perhaps from theology, from philosophy, from the ancient Greek word for wisdom. But Jung understood something that neither theologians nor philosophers had fully articulated. He discovered that Sophia is not merely a concept, she is a living psychological force, an archetype so fundamental to the structure of the collective unconscious that her presence, when awakened in an individual, reorganizes everything from the inside out. And the signs of her awakening are not what most people expect. The first sign, you grieve things others never noticed were lost. Jung identified what he called the Sophia sensitivity, a particular quality of perception that registers loss at a frequency most people simply cannot access. Not the loss of obvious things, not the grief that everyone understands and validates, but the deeper grief, the grief of beauty that passed unwitnessed, of potential that was abandoned before it could become real, of connections that almost happened but didn't quite. The woman in whom Sophia lives grieves the unmade choice, the unspoken truth, the version of someone that briefly appeared and then retreated back behind their armor. She mourns what could have been with the same weight others reserve for what actually was. Most people will tell her this is too much, that she feels things that aren't there. But Jung understood the opposite to be true. She feels things that are absolutely there, things that the majority of people have simply trained themselves through necessity and self-protection not to feel. Sophia does not allow that training. She keeps the channels open, even when openness costs everything. The second sign, you have always known things before you could explain how. There is a particular kind of knowing that precedes language, that arrives before evidence, that sits in the body as certainty before the mind has assembled a single coherent argument in its favor. Jung called this the intuitive function in its most developed form. He connected it directly to the Sophia archetype, because Sophia, in the deepest layer of the collective unconscious, is the keeper of the knowledge that cannot be taught, the wisdom that is not acquired but remembered, the understanding that surfaces from somewhere beneath biography, beneath culture, beneath everything that was consciously learned. The woman who carries Sophia has always had this knowing. She knew when something was wrong in a room before anyone spoke. She knew when someone was lying before she had a single piece of evidence. She knew when a relationship was ending, long before the ending made itself visible to anyone else. And she has spent a significant portion of her life being told that this knowing is not real, that it is anxiety, projection, oversensitivity, the need to find problems where none exist. Jung was unambiguous about this. The intuition of the Sophia-bearing woman is not pathology, it is precision. It is the most ancient form of intelligence available to the human psyche, operating exactly as it was designed to operate. The third sign, beauty has always felt like a spiritual emergency. Not aesthetic preference, not simple appreciation for beautiful things, something more destabilizing than that, something that stops you completely, that reaches into your chest and reorganizes something fundamental about how you are holding yourself together in any given moment. A particular quality of light, music that arrives at exactly the wrong moment and breaks you open without warning. A line in a book that makes the room go still. The specific way someone laughed who you loved and lost. Jung described Sophia as the archetype most intimately connected to what he called the numinous, the experience of the sacred within the ordinary, the sudden recognition that something in front of you contains more meaning than its physical form should be able to hold. The woman in whom Sophia lives does not experience beauty casually. She experiences it as contact, as the world briefly removing its surface and showing her something underneath that she was not supposed to see, but cannot now unsee. This is not sentimentality. Jung was precise about this distinction. Sentimentality is the performance of feeling. What Sophia carries is the real thing. Feeling as a form of perception. Emotion as a method of knowing. The fourth sign. You have been called too intense your entire life. Not occasionally, consistently, by different people in different contexts across the entire span of your life. Too sensitive, too deep, too much, you care too much, you think too much, you feel too much, you make things too complicated. You need too much, you give too much. Jung identified what he called the wound of the feeling type in a world organized around thinking, function, dominance. A civilization that has systematically pathologized depth, interiority, and emotional intelligence as liabilities rather than assets. The woman who carries Sophia has absorbed this message from childhood, has tried at various points to become less, to modulate her responses, to perform a version of herself that asks less of the room, that takes up less psychological space, that does not make other people uncomfortable with the sheer volume of her inner life. And she has never fully succeeded, because Sophia does not modulate. She does not become less to accommodate a world not yet large enough to hold her. Jung said that the intensity of the Sophia-bearing woman is not excess. It is accurate proportion. She is responding to the actual depth of existence with an appropriate level of feeling. It is the world that is calibrated incorrectly, not her. The fifth sign. You carry other people's pain as though it were your own, not metaphorically, physically, in the body, in the sudden weight that arrives when someone near you is suffering, regardless of whether they have said a single word about it. Jung described this as permeable ego boundaries in the positive sense, not the psychological fragility that the term might suggest, but a fundamental porousness between self and other that allows the Sophia-bearing woman to receive the emotional reality of another person directly, without the filters most people maintain automatically. This is both her greatest gift and the specific mechanism through which the greatest damage has been done to her. Because she cannot be in the presence of suffering without responding to it, cannot witness pain without being moved by it, cannot love someone without taking on some portion of what they carry. The narcissistic personality finds this quality irresistible, because someone who feels your pain as their own can be redirected toward your needs with extraordinary efficiency. Their empathy becomes, in the wrong hands, an instrument of their own depletion. Jung said that Sophia's challenge is not to close this permeability. It is to develop what he called conscious receptivity, the ability to receive another's reality fully without losing the thread back to her own. The sixth sign. You have always been drawn to the wound in people, not the surface, not the presentation, not the version someone offers publicly with their armor fully assembled. The wound underneath, the specific place where they are most tender, most frightened, most real. You find it almost involuntarily, and once found, you cannot pretend you didn't find it. Jung connected this directly to what he called Sophia's healing function within the collective unconscious. The archetype moves toward fracture, toward the place where wholeness has been interrupted. Because in the mythological structure of the psyche, Sophia is not the goddess of comfortable wisdom. She is the goddess of the wisdom that only becomes accessible through descent, through the willingness to go into the dark place and remain there long enough to understand. The woman who carries her does the same. She is drawn to the broken places in people, not because she is damaged herself, but because something in her recognizes the sacred territory of the wound, the place where the most essential work is waiting to be done. The danger is in believing it is always her work to do. The seventh sign. You have survived things that were supposed to diminish you and emerged somehow larger, not louder, not harder, not more defended, larger, more present. more completely yourself than you were before the thing happened that was supposed to break you. Jung called this the Sophia paradox, that the archetype of sacred feminine wisdom does not develop through protection from difficulty. She develops through it, through the specific alchemical process of descending into what cannot be avoided and discovering in the depths of it something that could not have been found anywhere else. The woman in whom Sophia truly lives has been to places in herself that most people successfully avoid their entire lives. She has sat with her own darkness, held her own grief without rushing toward resolution, remained present to her own dissolution, long enough to discover that beneath it, something remained intact that nothing could touch. Jung said that this is the final proof of Sophia's presence, not the absence of destruction, the survival of essence through it. Carl Jung believed that the awakening of Sophia within an individual woman was not a personal event. It was a collective one, that every woman who integrates this archetype fully, who stops apologizing for her depth, her knowing, her grief, her intensity, her porousness, her attraction to wounds, her capacity to survive and emerge larger, contributes something to the entire unconscious fabric of humanity. She becomes, in Jung's precise language, a vessel of the transpersonal feminine, not a symbol, not a myth, a living woman who has stopped diminishing herself to fit inside a world built too small for what she carries. And the world, whether it knows it or not, needs her to be exactly that large, exactly that present, exactly that completely, irrevocably, unapologetically herself.